Aori was a normal high schooler living in modern-day Japan, where he spent his life in peace with his younger sister. But everything changes when his sister gets a chronically deadly disease with no cure known to man. The cost of treatment is so high that Aori couldn't even dream about paying the fee with a normal part-time job, so instead he turns towards the world of social media in the hopes of getting a quick buck. Unfortunately, he is not a mediocre-looking girl with an attitude problem who can post some thirst traps and start earning millions, so he was forced to find a new niche for himself. He decides to become a hated YouTuber who everyone watched because they hated him so much and wanted him to pay for everything that he has done till now. His social media presence started growing as he would call out professional respected fighters and then jump them on camera, beating the shit out of them without any respect, and spit on them before running away like a coward. This really irritated the viewers, who used to call him a coward piece of crap who can't win a fair fight. But Aori didn't really care for it, as it simply used to increase his viewer retention and other analytics. Most recently, he jumped a very beloved MMA content creator and beat the crap out of him with deceit before running away from the police. This has been the talk of the town as he overhears everyone talking about how this piece of shit Jake Paul-esque YouTuber needs to get his ass whooped. Aori doesn't care though, and simply goes through his comments and finds a burning hatred for himself in his own comments section. But it doesn't matter as he laughs and checks his revenue, which is through the roof at this point. Soon he gets off at the next station and enters the hospital where his sister has been admitted for a while now. He finds her staring at her phone, so he tells her to lay down and rest for a while. Akari responds by saying that she was resting the whole day and now she wants to talk to him and asks where he was. He can't really tell her about his money-making scheme, so he lies that he had some things that he needed to deal with and he was a little busy with that. He hands her a bag of sweets, but Akari knows that he has a weak spot when it comes to sweets and asks how many has he had today. At first Aori lies and replies that he had 3. But Akari is not so easily fooled and tells him to reveal the truth, and Aori replies that he had 6 cakes before coming here. Akari scolds him, claiming that he needs to be more careful with his health and should limit himself to 1 sweet a day, and starts asking whether he is ever taking care of himself, or he is pulling all-nighters again and not doing any laundry. Soon she starts eating her piece of cake, but even that is too much for her and she starts coughing, which scares Aori and he runs to call the nurse. But Akari stops him, claiming that she is going to be okay. Akari doesn't know why her body is refusing to work with her, but Aori tells him not to lose any hope as their trip to us is in a month, and there a super doctor will have a look at her and deal with any issues she has. Akari is not sure though, as she has heard about the medical bills in the US for a band-aid, but her brother tells her not to worry as he has everything under his control and money won't be an issue thanks to his well-paying side gig. Later that day, he thinks about the days at the orphanage when the old warden used to teach all the orphans there to always do the right thing no matter how difficult it may be. But Aori has gone completely against it. If there was a way to earn good money with hard work, he would do that. But unfortunately, he never had the opportunity to attend a good school, and the only thing he has is a tough body which is good at fights. He thinks about how he has gone against everything he was taught at the orphanage, but he doesn't really care as he is ready to burn the entire world if it means that he can save Akari. A month passes by since that day and Aori had been completely inactive on his social media account, and word on the street is that either he got killed by an angry mobster or he has completely retired. Aori, however, is not dead and is doing well in his one-room apartment, eating pudding cups from a general store and talking to Akari on his phone, asking whether she would want some. Akari replies that she would love to have some chocolate pudding, so Aori promises to bring some when he comes to visit her again. He seems content with his life and soon heads off to sleep with the phone in his hand, which I can relate to. Later in the night, while he was having some pleasant dreams, he is suddenly woken up by a sudden noise and is horrified to see a figure looming on top of him with a goddamn sledgehammer. The intruder tries to slam the hammer on top of him, but thanks to his quick reflexes, he manages to dodge out of the way. The intruder calls him an asshole for dodging out of range, and follows up with 3 more attacks aiming for the phone in the hands of Aori. Again, Aori manages to dodge out of the way, saving his life with a hair's margin, but ends up dropping his phone at the last moment. This was the moment he realizes that this weirdo robber is not after him, but actually after his phone. Thankfully, he manages to grab his phone before the man could destroy it and starts running away outside the house. Aori decides to run into a well-lit park, hoping to throw off the attacker, and texts Akari about the intruder that just entered his house. Akari continues to text him, telling him to run away and go to the cops. But instead of running or calling the cops, this idiot is talking to his sister on his phone. Before he could do anything else, the intruder catches up to him once again and tries to attack him. But this time Aori decides to stand his ground and fight back. He blocks the hammer with a kick, which actually surprises the attacker, and then Aori goes on the counter-attack, which is blocked by the intruder easily. Aori continues his assault of punches and throws in a kick for good measure. But all his attacks either get dodged or get stopped by the hammer-wielding psychopath easily. The intruder tries to swat the phone out of Aori's hands once again and barely misses. Aori has no idea what the hell is he after. When the intruder calls out his full name, claiming that he is a YouTuber whose job is posting ragebait content and trigger little girls and liberal leftists daily for absolutely no reason. He claims that he has watched his videos, but not voluntarily, and openly declares that his videos are disgusting and makes him want to puke up. Hearing this, Aori thinks that this man is one of those annoyed viewers who decided to take it upon himself to deal with him. So Aori goes on his knees and apologizes from the bottom of his heart, claiming that all he did was for money and no personal agenda since his sister was really sick. He claims that he has stopped doing all that since his sister got better and claims that he can beat him all he wants, but begs him not to kill him as he wants to help his sister more. He tells him to leave his phone untouched as he is texting his sister right now, who is pretty far away, and he doesn't want to lose touch with her. Before he could even complete his sentence though, the man attacks his phone once again with the hammer. Aori tells him to back off as he can beat him all he wants. But the man replies that he doesn't care about him and only wants to destroy the phone as quickly as possible. The intruder calms down a little, claiming that Aori sounds like an insane man right now since his sister has been dead for over a month now. Aori can't accept that reality and asks if she is dead, then who the hell is he texting with on his phone? It turns out that since America decided to attack Venezuela for absolutely no reason, her flight to America ended up getting cancelled and her health got worse in the next couple of days, leading to her death. Aori was unable to accept this reality and even missed his own sister's funeral before closing himself in his own house. He kept texting Akari on his phone, begging her to reply, when one day after he was stuffing himself with junk food, he saw the read sign appear on top of his message and got a reply from Akari. He wasn't able to believe his own eyes, but Akari seemed herself as she knew all the things that only she could have known. This made him believe that the person he was talking to was the real Akari, and he refused to believe or hear anyone saying otherwise. Suddenly his phone starts bugging out, and the video feed of Akari appears on his feed as she starts talking to him with tears running down her eyes, asking whether he was okay. Before he could reply though, the intruder manages to swat the phone away from him and slams it with his hammer, while Aori is too late to grab it safely. To his surprise though, the phone doesn't break, and suddenly a weird menacing energy starts coming out of the device as Akari materializes right in front of him through the phone. Aori can't believe his own eyes and drops down to his knees with tears streaming down his cheeks, but soon Akari's face twists and turns into a demonic mask with blood running down her eyes as she turns into a demonic being. The intruder immediately tells Aori to back off, claiming that she is not his sister anymore. He claims that the person he was talking to was a ghost. Earlier ghosts used to get trapped where people spent a lot of their time or had deep emotional connections like beaches, hospitals, toilets, music rooms, but now most of the people spend a majority of their time on their phones, and when they die, a dark part of their spirits gets stuck in their devices forever. When the social media account of a dead person, also known as a dead account, gains sentience, it starts being known as a ghost account, and that's what they are dealing with right now. He claims that now that her ghost has been summoned, he can't really destroy the phone and be done with it, which means he would have to destroy her ghost. But since this is a digitized ghost, the normal weapons won't really work on it, so they have to rely on special spiritual weapon. Just then he takes his phone out and summons a black hammer out of it, and starts beating the crap out of Akari's ghost. Aori is having a tough time watching all this, but soon the hammer guy manages to overpower the ghost and gets ready to finish it off. He throws his hammer in the sky and rains down a volley of hammers at the ghost, which completely destroy the ghost. With that, he finally gets ready to exorcise the ghost and takes out a new hammer to end it all. But Aori can't see it and grabs the guy from behind, begging him to let her live as he doesn't care even if she is a ghost. The hammer guy tells him to leave him and shouts at him that everyone in this world has people who die, but it's his job to move on and continue their legacy. This gives the ghost sufficient time to regain its composure, and it slams the hammer guy away into the wall, leaving him incapacitated and unable to move. The hammer guy tells Aori to run away, but instead Aori walks towards his sister and tries to reason with her. To his horror, the ghost is his sister only in the most twisted sense, as it grabs Aori in its teeth and starts chewing on him like a pack of gum. Aori thinks about the life he has lived till date and realizes that it's him that has kept Akari's spirit bounded to this world, and if he dies then her spirit will automatically be freed. But just then he remembers the hammer guy's words about continuing the legacy, and he jumps out of the grasp of the ghost and manages to materialize a weapon out of his phone, which shocks the hammer guy. Aori gets ready for the final combat and stabs his own sister with the blue flame sword that he had, which exorcises the ghost, leaving Aori unconscious on the ground. A little while later, some people from the academy where the hammer guy came from arrive to inspect everything and ask how the hell did Aori defeat her own sister's ghost. The hammer boy reports that Aori has a flame sword. Their leader claims that it's not a big deal to have that, but then the hammer guy reveals that his sword was actually blue. This actually shocks all of them, and the leader immediately tells them that they are taking Aori with them back to the Miden Academy, and whether he survives there and learns or die will depend on him. When Aori finally wakes up the next morning, he finds himself in a strange room which he assumes is a hotel. He doesn't clearly remember anything that happened last night and thinks that he had a bad dream where his sister died and turned into a ghost, and then a hammer guy popped out of nowhere, and finally he himself had to kill the ghost of his sister with his special powers. He takes a deep sigh that the nightmare was over. But the moment he turns around, he spots the hammer guy calmly drinking tea behind him. Aori immediately asks where the hell is he, and whether they slept in the same bed. The hammer guy replies that he doesn't swing that way.